saw him as a squad player this season, but actually he's become integral to everything that we do at the moment. He's had a bit of a odd start to the season. We played him through the middle at times when we had bigger guys on the pitch that could have done it when we were under Ian Dawes, but he's still he puts a shift in every time. More, 110% is what Connor Jennings is through and through. But he just, that level of maturity he's got on the ball, he seems to have an extra second or two compared to everyone else. His distribution is brilliant. The amount of passes he gets in, he's all over the pitch. If this was a 24-year-old Connor Jennings, we'd be looking at getting a very good transfer fee if we had him on a 2-year contract. I think he's looking ageless at the moment. He's getting amongst the goals, and yeah, I can't find enough superlatives really to describe Connor Jennings at the moment. I thought, there's often that never go back side of things, and I didn't think it could get, well, it's going to have to hit some heights to beat his first spell with us, but I didn't see him being the integral part of the squad that he is, and that's not taking into account the other side of things where his leadership qualities, which I think are shining through as well. And if there's ever a good example for some of the young players to learn from, especially the new guys we've had come in, then Connor's professionalism is something that can only be of benefit to them.
Yeah, Matt, I was one of the ones. I remember being on a pod with you during the close season, and I was one of the ones saying I don't really see the requirement for signing him. I love him for what he achieved for us previously. He's done some great things for us, but I thought it was a step backwards personally, and he's proven me wrong massively. He's consistently one of the best players on the pitch. He's in the top 3 players on the pitch from both teams every game. He's just setting high standards. It is his work rate, but I personally think he's come back technically a better player. I think his control is on point, his passing, his vision, his decision making, as well as his tackling, his defensive side as well. He's doing everything better than I ever remember him doing. So yeah, he's proven me wrong. Like yourself, Graham, I thought he'd be a decent squad player, but nothing more. And he's proven himself to be absolutely integral, setting those standards and just doesn't stop. He was man of the match by far yesterday. There were some other good performances, and I think I do want to sort of recognise the likes of Yarni. Like Graham said before, I think Tom Davis was much better than he has been in recent weeks. But yeah, Connor Jennings just setting that standard constantly, and he will not let the rest of the players sort of drop their standards. You can see he just keeps on going. But like I said, it's his technical ability which just seems so much better than what he was previously. So massively impressed with him, and I hope he keeps it up, because I do love him for what he achieved, and I hope he continues to prove me wrong.
My personal opinion on that would be he was beginning to turn those or improve those technical skills before he left Tranmere anyway. I think we could see that he was developing into a better player, more able to hold his own in League One before he left Tranmere after coronavirus cut short the 2019-20 season anyway. And he's just improved from there, and he's now in his peak years there or thereabouts, isn't he? So hopefully there's still more to come from him. In terms of Tranmere's form, let's talk about league position. They're out of the bottom 2 now, which I think is always a nice thing to be able to look at the table. They're up to 22nd, 9 points from their 11 games. Forest Green on 7 in 23rd. Sutton in 24th on 4. Sutton have had an absolutely appalling start to the season. Not exactly hauling teams back in, because there's still a fair gap between themselves and mid-table, Graham. But how important is it to now be out of the relegation zone?
I think it's very important in terms of so you don't want to be dragged in there, and you don't want to be giving yourself 3-4 points away from safety, especially at this stage. It's not going to be great for morale, and it's not going to be great for the fans that are thinking, shall I go this weekend or shall I not? Well, it's better to have the thing of going to watch a team outside the relegation zone and in it. So the league positions, they often say you don't look at them until it gets to 10 games. We're on game number 11, so we need to start looking at a table. And yeah, there's a few teams down towards the bottom end of the table as well. You probably think are in a bit of a maybe a false position. I think we all expect Salford and Bradford potentially to be a bit higher up the league, and Doncaster as well, possibly. So, yeah, it's great to be moving up the league. Obviously, we don't want to be anywhere near that. It's a much harder place to be in the National League than it was, I think, when we first joined it in 2015. So, I can't imagine going back in. It'll be a horrendous thing. So, just be as far away from possible from that bottom two it makes me sleep a lot easier at night, knowing that we're not in the bottom two. So, just from a completely selfish perspective, it's better for my blood pressure and my sleep if we're away from that bottom two.